Greetings and salutations. I'm taking a day off from sewing because I must. I must work on the garden today. If I want to have food, which I do, I didn't do all this work for nothing, spent all this damn money. I have to take a break from sewing for one day to get the garden planted. The second bed has been planted. I went and got all the dirt yesterday. So this row, we got mortgage lifter tomatoes. And actually the story behind them tomatoes are really funny, which is why I bought the tomatoes. These tomatoes are supposedly so big, so juicy, so good, and so prolific that the fella who bred them or whatever, you know, not hybrided them, but he bred them or whatever you do with the fucking seeds. He paid the mortgage on his house, like, off by selling these tomatoes. That's why they're called mortgage lifter tomatoes. I thought that was pretty cool, and I was like, hey, I could use some mortgage lifting shit. And I have a mortgage, but you know what I mean. This row, spring green onions. This row, and this row, 2 rows of Southport white globe onions. These ones are basically the same thing. These are actually sweet yellow, and then the white ones are over here. These were in the bag in the kitchen, and they started growing like crazy. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna plant these motherfuckers. So that's why those are up already. This row, we got Roma tomatoes. Right in the middle, over here we got beets. Early wonder beets. Right in the middle of the tomatoes and the beets, which I don't have a label for, which is right here, is potatoes and yams. Sweet potatoes. Right here in the middle. And then right here, I got cosmic purple carrots. And then rolling on the end, we got another tomato, the classic beefsteak. It can't go wrong, which is on the end there. I tried to separate the tomatoes. I don't want them all bunched in one place because they'll sap the nutrients out of the soil in that area real quick. So I separated the tomatoes with tubers and ground. This is basically all ground veggies that are going to be, I'm going to have to dig up except for the tomatoes. So that's what we're doing that one. This bed basically gets sun pretty much all day long. It's had sun since the morning. It's just starting to get over these trees over here because they're starting to fill in. All the trees are starting to fill in, so it's going to get a little more shade. But as you can see, this bed has not had sun for a few hours, which is good because this is my cool loving veggies, you know, the lettuce, the cabbage, the cauliflower, the broccoli, cucumber. Well, cucumbers kind of like the sun a little more than the others, but they're going to grow up and get their sun. The beans, and that they can kind of go either way. They like some sun, but they also like some shade. The peppers, on the other hand, do like some sun, which is why I kind of tried to plant them where stuff will not be growing up on the fence too much, hopefully, and block out more of the sun. And I planted the peppers this way, because planting them this way, they'll get more sun than if I planted them this way. They would have been more shaded. So that's the update. I just watered everything. That's why it's laying down and looking all wonky. They'll pop up here in a minute. I got in there and started training the beans and the climbers and stuff to start going the right direction. These ones aren't long enough yet. Actually, what I might have to do is run a string from the fence down into the ground and tack it down so they can grow up the string, which will then lead to the fence. I don't know if I'm going to have to do that yet. I'm going to give them like another week and see if I can start training them to go that way. They're just not tall enough yet, and they don't have, well, they do have vinies on them, you know, the grabbers, but they're not quite tall enough yet to reach over that piece of wood back there. So I might have to run the string. We'll see. Oh, another thing, y'all. My moonflowers are popping up, which I was really actually worried about because I've never grown moonflowers before. But they are coming, both sides. They're gonna grow up this trellis in a vine, and I'll have big, giant, trumpet-esque like flowers. I'm on the fence about this. It kind of looks like grapes to me. Y'all tell me what you think. It is definitely not poison ivy, as far as I'm aware. I mean, it has some red leaves on it, but it's really viney. Poison ivy is usually not like that, and the stems are really woody. I'm thinking this might actually be grapes or something. I do not know. Anybody want to help me out with that? I would be appreciated. I mean, it's just all over this fence, and I was gonna cut it down, but then I was like, kind of want to see what it turns into, because it might be something pretty cool. My gooky flower back here just popped a second head on it, so I got a stem, a straight stem with a head going this way and a head going that way. It's like I can't do it with my finger. It's like this, right? So like there's a flower, a bud over here, and a bud over here, and a stem in the middle. I don't know what it is or what it's doing. Somebody might have nailed it. I guess I'll see when it pops open. And if it's it looks like it's going to be something really cool, I'm going to dig that bulb up and plant it out front. Alright, what are these things? What are those? They got little hard balls on the tip of them. I'm going to have to figure out what those are. That's pretty cool. Does not look like I'm having much luck with the morning glories. I see a couple coming up over here, but not very many. I didn't know if they would do good along the fence because it's so rocky over here. You can see all the rock. I mean, there's dirt under the rock, but I did plant morning glories all along this fence, and so far, there's one right there. There's one, and there's one over there that I just showed you. I don't know. I'd have to pick another spot for them. We're working on taking down that red fence today, that red wooden piece of fence there, because that is going to be the wall in the shed here for the goat pen side. Remember I showed you all the shed, the chicken coop hutch thing, and how the goat pen was going to be on the right side of the door? Well, we figured we're going to cut that fence a little lower, and that's going to be the wall. It's already got a gate on it, and it's got a gate with a door right there. So that's what we're going to take it down, and we're going to install it right here. Whoop. And that's going to be the goat pen area. The chicken coop is coming along. The chickens should be just about big enough to come out here shortly. We just made a feeder yesterday for them, which we made out of an old piece of pipe, obviously, that we found on the property. I said that'd be a perfect feeder. We just pour it like a trough, you know, just pour the feed in there. I built this ladder, like perch thing, for the chickens to just kind of hang out on. They're just about big enough to come out. We actually might bring them out in a week or two, even if they're not quite big enough. Some of them are bigger than others. And as you can see, we have not cut the hole yet for the chickens to leave the shed. All right, so we're gonna, like right around that area, we're gonna cut a hole and put a ladder on the outside so the chickens can go in and out of, you know, the shed whenever they want to. We have not cut the hole yet, and we might put the chickens out here. See, right there's the ladder. We already built the ladder. Right about there is probably where we're going to cut the hole so they can go in and out. You know, free range and do what they do. We're still working on this. So obviously we might put the chickens in the shed in about a week or two because they're getting too big for their cage that they're in. But we haven't cut the hole, and all we have to do is shut the door, and they can't get out yet because they're still pretty small. just to be free ranging. And we still got to clean this mess up. I've been out here with the leaf blower pretty much daily because the jackasses that I gave the shed to that was sitting here, you know, left me this huge fucking mess. And unfortunately, there's lots of styrofoam all over the ground. So I've been out here at least 3 or 4 times now with the leaf blower. I've gotten most of it cleaned up. I still have this area because I do not want the chickens eating the styrofoam. I actually joked with my husband, and we still got to clean this mess up here too. I joked with my husband that we should have got the goat before we got the chickens, because the goat would have ate all that damn shit, and then we wouldn't have to worry about the chickens eating it, alright? So, as soon as he gets that pen built right there, we're going to get our goat. And I want to go check on the squashes over here. That's interesting. Nice, nice. I like this area right now because I don't have to worry about stepping in dog poop. As soon as we take this fence down there, that will change. So again, this is going to be the orchard. Eventually, I don't know, there's some gourds I threw over here. I don't know if I'll get the orchard started this year. I hope to, I plan to, but we just got to kind of play it by ear. The 1st is next weekend, and I will be getting, so there's another gourd, it's rotten, and it'll start growing here shortly. I'm actually getting my pole in about a week to 2 weeks. We just got to get the courtyard cleaned up, and I'm going to get my pole and get that. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Look at all them. Those are all either pumpkins, squashes, or gourds. I don't remember. We'll see what they turn into. But damn, they're coming up. They're coming up. Hell yeah. It looks like those are the only ones coming up right now. It looks like I gotta cut a bunch of this stuff off the fence here too. It's already kind of shady back here, and I want my gourds to be able to get some light when they start lining up this fence. And I don't want them to have to fight with whatever all this stuff is. Oh, y'all, I found some wild fucking wisteria growing in my front yard, and it's in bloom, and it smells fucking amazeballs. Just looking for some more, see if anything else is popping out yet. Yeah, and I was actually, I drove somewhere the other day and out in kind of BFE, and I seen wild wisteria just kind of grows all over the place down here, which is just crazy. I had a hell of a time trying to grow it up in Kansas City, but down here it's just kind of prolific. It's kind of growing everywhere, and it's in bloom everywhere, and it just smells amazeballs. Yesterday, oh, there's another pumpkin or something growing there. I planted shit all along this fence, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, I just got some gardenia bushes yesterday too, which we had a hell of a time trying to grow up in Kansas City. We tried every year, and about 2 years or something we had a little bit of luck with them, but the winters are just too cold. Even if you put them away, you know, we'd put them in the garage throughout the winter and stuff to protect them, but they usually didn't make it. They'll be working on the fence. So yeah, I got me 2 gardenia bushes yesterday, and those are in bloom, and they smell fucking amazeballs, and we're getting shit done. Well, that's the update. Get out in nature, grow stuff, learn stuff, do stuff, and as always, like, subscribe, and share.